he would be stalking, watching at night. He liked middle class neighborhoods in California and Northern California out there. He liked homes to a single story. But D'Angelo to me was a violation of public trust, right? The guy was law enforcement. He worked for the local municipalities up there in Northern California. So, police officer by day and an absolute predator by night, using his skill sets that he obtained, right? College educated, police academy trained, and then he had over 50 plus rapes, right? I think 100 plus burglaries, over 13, I think 13, 14 murders, maybe even more, right? And his MO, it was awful. In the Sacramento area, which is the capital of California, out there, he would cause havoc. This would be a big thing. He was the original Night Stalker. Before Ramirez, they would call this guy the Night Stalker. Yeah, they arrested him in 2018. Look at that, they arrested him in 2018 in California after he was doing it for since the 70s. These horrific crimes. That to me, I think, is very creative how they used his DNA profile. Now, there's a lot of controversy. Some people think, well, was this a violation of public privacy? You read that book I did on psycho
Yes.
killers, right?
Yeah,
Right?
that was a good
Yeah,
book.
and I talk about this guy Joseph D'Angelo, right? He was the original Night Stalker. That's one of my later chapters, and then I'll write an article later about it on Medium. I also do, as you know, articles on Medium, and I do the books. Almost 200 articles now, Thomas, 200, and the articles getting very popular, getting they're picked up. But these two stood out, D'Angelo and Ramirez. Can you imagine being California, Southern Cal, Northern California, when these predators, serial killers, I mean, this guy,
Yeah.
D'Angelo, I'll start with D'Angelo first, and I'll talk about a little bit about Ramirez. Same time period in the 80s. Awful, 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 awful what these guys were doing. But D'Angelo to me was a violation of public trust, right? The guy was law enforcement. He worked for the local municipalities up there in Northern California. So, police officer by day and an absolute predator by night, using his skill sets that he obtained, right? College educated, police academy trained, and then he had over 50 plus rapes, right? I think 100 plus burglaries, over 13, I think 13, 14 murders, maybe even more, right? And his MO, it was awful. In the Sacramento area, which is the capital of California, out there, he would cause havoc. This would be a big thing. He was the original Night Stalker. Before Ramirez, they would call this guy the Night Stalker. His moniker would later change because Ramirez was such a monster that he would become the Night Stalker. And then this guy, they gave him this moniker here. And how they caught him after all these years, that's an unbelievable story within itself right there. That's some impressive detective work. But just to give an example, I mean, he would be stalking, watching at night. He liked middle class neighborhoods in California and Northern California out there. He liked homes to a single story. And that's why I always say it's important to have your home well lit, to make sure your doors are locked. Me personally, I don't know how people sleep with the windows open at night. I think it's important to close your windows, even if you don't have an alarm system. At least put signs like you do have one.
Yep.
Intimidation, video. You can buy these signs and stickers everywhere, even if you can't afford it, and put it all over your house, right? Make these guys think twice. Bill, right? You've interviewed him, William Steele, a
Yeah.
co-host of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to do this stuff before he found the right way to do things. He did some time, but he would say, "Hey, you always find the softer targets, right?
Yep.
I mean, you want a home that's dark, pitch dark, windows up, no signs of dogs, right? Easy targets, easy prey get in there. That's what this guy did. This guy was really good at finding these kind of targets, going in there, and he was sadistic, Thomas. He was very sadistic. He would find elderly people, couples, and he would tie up, let's say if they were married, the husband or boyfriend, right? And then
Yep.
he would put plates on his back. And he said, if I hear these plates moving while he's raping his wife or girlfriend, I'm going to kill her and then come back and kill you. There would be silence. Is that unreal? And
Yeah.
this guy's a police officer. He has him tied up, right? And then he rapes her, and then he spends like times there, eats her food. He goes in the fridge, takes his time. He's eating his meals in there. Goes back for another 2 or 3 rounds, and then he leaves. What a sick guy. And I'm just glad they caught him. But that was, and then he would progress to worse, and he'll become, obviously, he goes from being a rapist, from entering burglaries to raping to eventually killing, and he killed over 13 plus, and he went cold, and then by mid 80s stopped, just stopped. I think a lot of factors played out in that. He maybe felt like what he was too dangerous or getting close, getting caught, but he eventually would be caught because he left his DNA obviously in a lot of different places. And a detective working the investigation would then use something when people try to find their genealogy, right? They want to know who their family members are. You go to ancestry.com, family tree, one of these places. He would submit his profile, the Angelo profile, which they had on file, and then they created their own family tree. And by elimination, they all had to figure out this was him. He fit the age, he fit the training. He said he was a former police officer, right? Everything fit perfectly. And then they set up surveillance on him, and they're able to get his DNA from different scenes. Like if he ate something, he threw it away, they would retrieve it, what have you. And it was a perfect match to what they had on profile.
Oh, yeah.
That
That's
that's
incredible.
something else. Yeah, they arrested him in 2018. 20 look at that. They arrested him in 2018 in California after he was doing it for since the 70s. These horrific crimes, horrific crimes. He ended up getting life. He pled to
Yeah.
life. He's a very sick old man, but at least he dies. He can't do any harm to anybody else. He dies in prison. A lot of people say, I wish he got the death penalty because he killed 13 people, right? But he's got life, and he'll die there. So that to me, I think is very creative how they used his DNA profile. Now, there's a lot of controversy. Some people think, well, was this a violation of public privacy? But then you have safety also, right? Man, I think when you deal with such a monster, whatever tool law enforcement can to find someone like this, you use it.
Yeah.
And hats off to them because he needs to be off the street. Hats off to them doing that, taking it off the street. I think now it's a little bit tougher to use it that way. I think they have to get a search warrant and put it in their database, whatever company they're using, as
Yeah.
opposed to have like a fictitious person and they submit the profile. So what they did with this one, they came in with a fictitious name and they submitted the profile in there. And that's how they did this way. I think nowadays, if you're law enforcement, you have to get a subpoena or a search warrant to be able to do that. So it got a little bit tougher, but still, regardless, that's a tool they have to be able to use to track down these kind of serial killers, these kind of monsters. Especially, imagine that this is a cold case from the 80s, right? We
Yeah.
started in the 70s in like 40 years.
You would have thought he got away with it.
He probably did. He probably did until they came knocking his door one day and they're saying, "It's time to go, Mr. D'Angelo." And just look at you go online and look at his court appearances. He's trying to act like maybe he has some mental health issues or he's acting crazy, but someone who does something like that, it appears that he probably was born that way, born psychopath, right?
Yeah.
Unlike Ramirez, which I'll transition to, I think he was a made psychopath.
Yeah.
So, well, the difference between these two, Ramirez, he came from a family of serial killers. His cousin was a former Green Beret in Vietnam, and him, and others would be known to kill Vietnamese prostitutes there. They were being used, dismantle them, kill them, right? And then he'll take Polaroids with him. And he takes a lot of pictures of them. It's awful, awful things. And he would come back to the States, and Ramirez was a young kid, and he was exposed to his cousin. His father was also an alcoholic, abusive, drunk. So you have all these factors, and then on top of that, he himself became addicted to drugs, alcohol, LSD, all this stuff that led to this. Where hey, his cousin who was Green Beret taught him how to stalk, taught him how to kill, taught him how to do all these skills, right? And made him, like how they make sicarios, right? In Mexico,
Yeah.
the cartels from a young age desensitize these kids to become killers.
Yeah.
That's what his cousin did to Ramirez. Made him a absolute psychopath or notorious, the Night Stalker himself. Awful, awful, awful. And what he did to these poor people, you go online, you read my book in there, he goes in his homes and he was just absolutely brutal. absolutely brutal. And you can see the details in the book there and online what he did. He eventually was caught, and he ends up dying in prison from health issues. So he's dead already. Ramirez is dead. But the whole issue with
Scary guy.
Ramirez, he is a scary guy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's that's why they changed his name because how scary he was, and his death toll was extremely high. And he showed no mercy in there. He almost got caught a few times in the whole process until the end, until the mob caught him at the end there and gave him a good beating, which is what he deserved.
Yeah. Yeah, that
The
was
mob
cool.
brought him down and gave him a beating. And a lot of people said they wish they would have finished him off.
Yeah.
That would have been there. But yeah, both those guys are interesting. Look at with the book Psycho Killers online. It's on audio also. So if you want to listen to it, you can listen to it. And also wrote a pretty good article on Medium about these two here. But yeah, I also wrote a last one on Dr. Shipman, the British
Yeah.
doctor, Dr. Death, Angel of Death, which was his elderly female patients. He would convince them to sign them over their money and then inject them and kill them,
Oh
right?
yeah.
They would come in and never come back over and over and over. And he said his numbers, he could be the most prolific serial killer with about over 300 plus. That's unreal. The Good Doctor,
That's
right?
yeah.
The Good Doctor
That's
in Britain.
huge.
Yeah, yeah. Look at Dr. Shipman, all this stuff. He ended up hanging himself
Yeah.
and was waiting for trial. He hung himself. But now people say, how was he able to do that? Well, sometimes people look the other way, and just like Epstein, right?
Yeah. No one saw anything.
Yeah, yeah, he was able to hang himself too. Ivan Hernandez, also a killer, right?
Yeah.
Football player for the Patriots with Brady, right?
Yeah.
He,
Yeah.
he was famous tight end. Look his story up. He was able to hang himself. Some of these guys, and a lot of it, what I've seen, I was going to say, when we talk about Netflix, that's a heck of a documentary on Hernandez. If you want to see this guy, he went for someone that was good, that
Yeah.
really went bad with drugs and alcohol and everything else, and started killing
Yeah.
and started killing. And maybe he liked it. I don't know. But at the end, it all caught up to him and ended fast for him. And he was in the Super Bowl with Brady, and he catches touchdowns, and he came this close to being the Giants that won. So from a superstar, I mean, he's like an OJ Simpson, but he doesn't last as long as OJ.
Yeah.
He didn't go as long as
Yeah.
OJ. OJ just died about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
OJ Simpson. He got away with it. He had the dream team,
Yeah.
but Hernandez did not. He was found guilty, and yeah, he hung himself. He was tired of that. He wanted no more business of that. So
Yeah.
Epstein, a lot of these guys with money and power, once they realize the gig is up, they find ways to take care of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's
Yeah,
over.
yeah. It's so Epstein was a classic example right there, and he's still all over the news. His famous client list. Everyone's looking. Who else? The Clintons now are going to testify in front of Congress, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so things come around full circle. The Prince Andrew lost his title, right?
Yeah.
With his friendship with Epstein and the stuff, and he did. It's like big name after big name after big name. A lot of pictures with Trump and Epstein.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's a big problem for him.
Yeah.
So he's embarrassed a lot by that. He fought it. I don't think he won the whole thing, but because his MAGA base was so into Epstein and all of this, they want to know. They want to know everybody. They want to know all the files, who's in there. They didn't want to hide anybody. So that made
Yeah.
Trump a little nervous, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he
that's
held off releasing them for a long time.
he did. He did. He did. He turns on a lot of people. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, which was here's a little American politics here. Marjorie Taylor Greene, which was a representative out of Georgia, she resigned over this because they started battling over the Epstein files. Huge, huge loyalist, right?
Wow.
And she said, you know what, I'm done. Because he turned on her. Remember, Trump eats his young, eats his own. He
Yeah.
doesn't care. That's the way he
Yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
and if you turn, he don't care if you were loyal to him. He doesn't. If you for one moment you do something he doesn't like, he'll take you out, he'll devour you, humiliate you, whatever he can. And she said, I'm not gonna be like a domestic, wife, abused domestic wife that keeps on taking it. She said, I'm done with politics,
Yeah.
and she stepped away from it. And she was a big name in there in the MAGA world, just like that. Over Epstein, the files, the scandals, everything. Sick man, right? That like young girls.
Yeah.
right? Sick
No.
man, like young girls, had his private island, his estates, and everything else he did, and had his jets and a lot of big names, folks. Look up the names, and we mentioned a few with the Clintons and the Prince Andrew and Trump and other, but a lot of big names who were affiliated with Epstein.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's like a big story. So
Yep.
if around the world you want to look it up, look up Epstein and everything else. I wrote a few articles also on Medium about this,
Yep.
about the scandal and how the rich want to get a pass for their, you know, misbehaviors they do, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's that's what they're looking for. So look it up on Netflix. I saw that they have pretty good documentaries there on Epstein, and you
Yep.
really get a good sense of feel how much the conspiracy and involvement goes there. And at the end, Trump still does not feel good about this.
Yep.
He does not feel. He keeps on saying, "Why are we still talking about Epstein? Why? Because it's a problem."
Yeah.
And your prints are all over it.
Yeah. He wants to, yeah, he
That's why.
definitely wants to close it.
Yeah, that's why we keep on talking about it. So, yeah, those guys are interesting characters. Keep look at there. Also, some good documentaries. I've written a lot about Ramirez and the Night Stalkers. One and
Yeah.
two. One is dead. The other one's soon to be dead. I mean,
Yep.
D'Angelo is getting up there in age. I think he's close to 80 years old now,
Yeah.
and his time, his health issues, and everything else. It's sad that he got away with it so long.
Yeah.
And I think, have you ever seen 60 Minutes from Australia?
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a great special on this whole thing with D'Angelo.
Yep.
Go check it out. Also, they interview the correspondent interviews a lot of the victims, and he goes there to the scene of the crimes and everything else, and really you feel bad for them. They suffer PTSD for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, that's horrible trauma, horrible trauma. People who have to suffer for that, and they remember clearly as day. I mean, this happened 40 years ago, and they tell it so vividly, step by step, what happened. That's
Yeah.
what kind of monster he was. Sadistic. At least some of us that were lucky they were victimized early before he
Yep.
became such a monster serial killer.
Yep.
And that, to me, he's a psychopath because he was a guy that college educated, went to police academies, had a good career, and just started going down this path of burglaries,
Yeah.
raping, murdering. What a violation of public trust.
Yeah. Do you think that's why he joined the police force to try and hide what he was up to?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I don't know. I don't know if he's talking about that, but
Mm.
it's hard to tell what was his mindset in there. Did he really have that, or did he one day like the power
Yeah.
got to his head? He said, "I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this," and and, and he didn't have a good heart because anybody who has a good heart, a good person, wouldn't even contemplate doing that.
Mm.
That was something that maybe he himself had some trauma growing up, and then that triggered something that he had to cause this, right? Because it's not normal for human beings that you and I know to want to do that to each other, right?
Yeah. Definitely not.
Those are people that have some mental health issues, like I said, born or raised. Like I said, Ramirez was mental psychopath. Mary D'Angelo was born this way, and he just got triggered with the right moment because when he snapped, man, he snapped,
Yep.
and there was no coming back for that guy. There was no coming back, and he
Mm.
would just go after all the and he would pick on the most vulnerable,
Yeah.
women, right, girls. I mean, things. And then if there were a couple, they were in there, then he would do all those horrible things to the husband or boyfriend, right, to
Yep.
keep him from doing anything about it. Just think about that. What kind of person would tie someone up, put plates on his back, and then say, if I hear these plates moving, I'm going to kill her and come back from you while he's raping your wife, and then sits there and eats like for hours, eats all the food in the refrigerator and comes back for more. That's a sick man. That's a sick person. So these are kind of the sick people you see, and they're unfortunately all over the world, not just in the United States, but psycho. I think I did a good job with psycho killers to show that this is
Definitely.
a pattern all over the world, from Russia, South America. Pedro Lopez,
Yeah.
the monster of the Andes. I mean, he had 300 plus, and his thing was indigenous young girls,
Yeah.
and his MO was very simple: bare hands,
Yeah.
strangle, kill, strangle and kill. The strangler, like the Boston Strangler. I mean, that some of these guys get very imminent, and some of them keep it simple.
Yeah.
But the pattern I've seen from Russia to Germany to all over to Britain, Jack the Ripper, of course, we talked, Dr. Shipman, is that these people snap, they enjoy it, they have a taste for it, and they cannot control their appetite. That's one thing I've noticed. They cannot stop. They want to keep on and on and on. It's something they really, unfortunately, enjoy the power of that moment, causing the fear, and then they like the end of life. Dahmer was he loved it. He talked about that and how he
Yeah.
got over that too. But he took a step further that he'll consume the body.
Yeah. It's
Man,
crazy.
yeah, no. So those that so those things you're looking at, take a look online, take a look at the book, take a look at what we have out there. But yeah, psycho killers for sure. These guys are the night stalkers. California's awful, awful monsters.
Scary. What's you talked about it a bit before, but what's the, people listening, what's the safest ways you can make your house safe? Like the best ways you
Yeah,
can make
no,
it.
for sure. You have common sense because remember these guys are stalking, doing surveillance. They're watching. You don't
Yeah.
know they're watching. And I say always people say, "Oh, I hate having the lights on all night." Keep your lights on. Keep your lights on. Illuminate your house well. Don't keep it dark. Don't keep your bushes so high. Keep your bushes down from your windows. Can't come in. I personally like to close. My windows are closed at night. Right? Somebody keep their windows open at night. I wouldn't be doing that either. If you can't afford, I have a very good alarm system, security system, video all around my house. That's me because I want to make sure I can watch all the time, looking. That's anywhere, videos all around the house, alarm system, the whole 9 yards. I do that. If you can't afford that, you can do it by buying signs, put it on your house, right? From alarm companies, right? Monitor
Yeah.
it. Put a sign that says, "Hey, my house is video monitored," or "Hey, bad dog, beware of bad dogs." Put that on that freaks out people. Put maybe a big dog bowl for your house, like a real big one, right?
Yeah.
Makes you think
Yeah.
twice. As, oh man, this guy's having a big rock or some pit bull or something that's going to really do some damage, right? Uh, all those things. I think it's good to like maybe sometimes leave your TV on it in the afternoon or when you're gone, right?
Yeah.
Make them think there's somebody talking or in there. Maybe leave a radio on or something. You hear voices or something. Always make you think the house is not empty, right? And if you are alone, so those are all those. And of course, me, retired law enforcement, I do believe in protecting yourself and having firearms so you're not a victim like that. Because if these
Yeah.
people had weapons and he had it close to you, and that guy comes in, you handle your business, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to victimize you. So I believe in getting weapons trained, practicing, training. So, but the key is to make sure you train on how to use it and don't have it locked away somewhere. That does no good to you when the predator is coming right at you and your gun's locked in the closet, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You keep it in your nightstand. Keep your nightstand close to you, ready. I keep mine chambered, ready to rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
And boom, an extra magazine right next to it, because it's nothing be worse that these people have to go through. You have to see when your loved ones suffer, get killed in front of you. You couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's all.
That'd be
That's my
terrible.
advice I can give you dealing with these psychopaths, dealing with burglars, robbery, and even when you're driving around. Do you guys get a lot of carjackings in Australia?
Not so much, I don't think. No.
Not as much. So those are things you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in Northern Virginia, DC area, DC is per capita one of the highest places for carjackings. So one of Trump's worked for his administration was killed in a carjacking in DC.
Yeah.
So these guys, you have a nice car, you have to be careful. People try to take it out point. Well, always have concealed weapons permit. You have your weapon with you, protect yourself. But some places they don't want you armed. Like
Yeah.
DC is one of those places they don't want you armed. They create a culture of victimization. So it's like the bad guys know that. Crime-free zones, gun-free zones don't work because the bad guys don't respect the laws, don't respect rules.
Yeah.
They're going to do whatever. That's where they're criminals, career criminals. They don't care. They're going to come in and they're going to do whatever they want. And they know you're not supposed to. Well, who wants to copy a gun charge, right? When you say don't do that, right? Law-abiding citizen, but the criminals don't give a crap.
Yeah.
They're gonna take care of that. So that's some of the things we have to deal with here. I think we saw in Canada the worst mass shooting at a high school, right? And they're big into gun control, but look what happens. The
Yeah.
bad guys, people, mental health issues, they don't care. They're going to find ways to get weapons and do whatever they want. So I think people have realized it's important to have police. I think at schools, as much
Yeah.
as you can, all over protecting. If there's not enough policing, teachers who want to, right? You have to be able to do security at least, protect the student because unfortunately you get a lot of students that snap, and we have a ton of those unfortunately in this country, in the United States, that do those horrible things. And you got to be able to protect the student body. Whether you want parents to be able to go drop off the kids at school thinking they're safe there.
Yeah.
Nothing's worse when you don't think your kids are safe at school because there's so many bad apples. So many kids, unfortunately, have so much mental health issues that don't get addressed properly, and they snap and they get bullied or something happens. So you know what? Look at Columbine. That was
Yeah.
awful in Colorado, Connecticut. I mean, it's just case Cho out of Virginia Tech. It doesn't matter if it's elementary school. You have the one out of Texas, right? That was awful. And that the police were out there and they didn't move him fast enough out there.
Yeah.
So you have to good policing. But if you do have the good policing, hopefully do the right thing. If
Yeah.
they sit there and do nothing and just wait for them to kill everybody, that's awful.
Yeah. It's pretty scary thought, that people out there just can snap like that.
Yeah, I know it is. It is. It's awful. I mean, if I don't know if you saw, it's a lot of them are schizophrenics too. I don't know if you saw what happened to a Ukrainian girl that was a political refugee coming in, and she was on the subway,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
on the train in North Carolina, and she's just a poor young girl working, trying to make a life for herself, studying, and this guy pulls out the knife and stabs her from behind, like
Yeah.
Psycho style from the movie, and kills her right there and
Yeah.
dripping blood everywhere. And the pastor, no one does anything. Everybody's frozen, right? Look at the video. No one
Yeah.
helps her, does anything. She's crying and she just dies in her seat, right? Awful, awful, awful. Eventually they catch the guy. But that's my point is, man, you got to have common sense. You don't want, that's another thing. If you're in a train like that, try not to sit giving your back to somebody. If you
Yeah.
can, sit on the sides, right?
Yeah.
Whether the glass or the wall of the train, and don't give your back to anybody
Yeah.
if you can, or if you have to stand up. Rather do that, stand up. At least have a fighting chance. That
Yeah.
if you're sitting down like that, you're giving that person the advantage. So
Yeah.
those are common sense things when you have to travel around. We went to Italy last summer in Rome.
Yeah.
Man, their metro is insane, crowded. So we had to pick the off-peak hours because at
Yeah.
peak time it is like a massive humanity, and they have a ton of pickpocketers. If you go
Uh-huh.
online, check how many pickpocketers are in Rome. Do you got to carry your stuff up here with a little bit and hide it like this? Because you have anything else anywhere else, man, people are bumping in trying to take it. It is awful, awful, awful. That's the horrible thing I saw about Europe. How many pickpocketers out there trying to steal your things? And I know it's cheap, which is nice because if you
Yeah.
take the Uber, it's a little more expensive, obviously, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you take the Metro, I mean, we got for 1 week, we got it for I think under I think like 60 euros or something, maybe it's even cheaper than that,
Yeah.
right? So we just travel all over, but it's a little uncomfortable, and that's the problem with public transportation. You don't know who you're dealing with, you don't know who you have next to you, you don't know what their motives are, so you can't be in La La Land where you got to be on your game, especially with your family. And unfortunately, this girl Ukrainian, wasn't familiar. It's night to come back work for the pizza parlor where she was working at, and she gave her back, and this guy was a psycho. I think you
Yeah.
sit on the side and you're prepared to move, or somewhere where more people, not so isolated. Those are things you got to think about.
Yeah.
It all adds up to them. So those are awful stories, but stuff you see. Also, I've been also writing a lot about politics too, Thomas. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff going. Yeah, New York City. I took my family to those last Christmas, not this one, the one before. We went to Atlantic City in
Yeah.
New Jersey for the week, and then we spent Christmas Day in New York City. Never been there, so we like I'm in the Staten Island Ferry. Anybody who's gonna go to New York? Have you been to New York, Thomas?
No, never.
So Staten Island Ferry is free. It's 24/7, 365, and it goes from there to Battery Park, and which was the Statue of Liberty. So it's a free ride to see the Statue of Liberty. So Christmas Day, Christmas morning, my daughter's never seen it, and it's a monster ferry. I mean, it's huge, enormous, orange color, stands out, and it's a perk they give. And you go over there and you see the Statue of Liberty. Because some of these tours are expensive. This is a way to do it for free. You have to
Yeah.
spend anything. You enjoy it. You go in
Yeah.
there, and then you start your tour right from Wall Street, and you work your way all the way up Manhattan. And you, what we did, and we kept on walking. You stop at Ground Zero, where the unfortunately Twin Towers went down. We
Yeah.
had there see the memorial, see the museum. You go to Times Square. We had dinner there for Christmas. You see the Christmas tree out there in Rockefeller Center. It really was a special way to spend a day in New York City. But we
Yeah.
kept away from the subways at night because subways in New York City,
Yeah.
unfortunately, are getting more violent. And when you have weak people in power, Eric Adams, at that time, he was a corrupt mayor, former NYPD lieutenant, indicted. Trump, in my opinion, should never have pardoned him, but he did. He should have done his time.
Yeah.
You know, in exchange was for Thomas, so he can have access. So New York starts being a sanctuary city,
Yeah.
and ICE and immigration can have access to their jails to start deporting these criminals. There should be no deal like that.
Wow.
Eric Adams should do the right thing. He should have resigned and
Yeah.
walked away for being corrupt. So you know who they have now? They have a socialist there, Zoran Mamdani.
Yeah.
Mamdani. And I think New York has gone from bad, bad, bad to really worse because they now he said, "Oh, we have a $12 billion deficit in there." He was going to have everything for free. He ran free this, free busing, free this, free daycare, free schooling, everything was going to be free, 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 free. And now they realize they have a massive debt, and it's not going to happen. And I hear the trash in
Yeah.
the city is awful now. It is piling up. The rats are running amok and the crime, the criminals, and he's protecting illegals,
Yeah.
bringing back, making a sanctuary protected city again. That's wrong. We have laws in this country. It's not fair for people who wait, do things the right way to come
Yeah.
here in the country, and these guys are skipping the line. And what do they do when they come here illegally? No matter where they're from, they could be from Asia, it could be from Latin America, from Europe, wherever, right? They
Yeah.
have to have fake documentation. They got to start getting social security number. They got to do all these things to have a life here. So they're breaking other laws. And the bad ones are really bad. They become gang members, criminals. They start milking the American system. So I wrote a lot about how important enforcement immigration laws are key for national security. I think for any country. A country without borders is a country that's going to fail. It's going to collapse. And I don't know if you've been watching how bad in Minneapolis, the battles between ICE and people who are agitators who don't get it. I was part of customs before ATF, right? And I know the importance of enforcing these kind of laws. If you don't enforce these kind of laws, these criminals get more empowered, and you don't know who you have in your country, what kind of
Yeah.
people you have in your country, and health issues, what kind of diseases they're bringing in your country. They have to be
Yeah.
vetted. Any civilized country will vet. You can't have it like this. You're going to suffer. And these people either they're enemies of this country or they're really ignorant.
Yeah.
They're really ignorant how dangerous what they're doing. Our worst enemies couldn't cause more havoc than what they're causing. And then when they're protesting and they're getting involved and they're trying to cause harm to the agents who are doing their job, the officials, and when they defend themselves, they act like they're the victims.
Yeah.
And they're the agitators. They're starting it. So that's a big thing that's happening in the country here in the US. And I know we talk about, I think anywhere in the world, you have to have, if you have immigration, I believe in immigration, legal immigration. My family came from Spain originally to Cuba. They lost a lot because the fascists with Franco, the Spanish, they're Basques, and they're from all over. It's the Canary Islands, the Basque Country, Galicia, Catalan, and all the different places there, right? Came to Cuba, and they lost because of communists, Fidel Castro, and all that.
Yeah.
So it's important. We're very grateful and appreciative. I was born and raised in the United States. I think one of the greatest countries on this earth and what you can accomplish and do. It's a large country,
Yep.
but you have to be smart because you want it for future generations. You have to secure the border because if not, it'll be a boat. It's going to sink. You can't take the whole world in, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
definitely.
I think I think what I'm seeing is also going through some immigration issues. Also, what I've seen there too.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, yeah. So I think you have to be smart about it. You have to pick and choose, but immigration is important for every country. Is what, especially it being a diverse nation, the United States is. And I think Australia's become more diverse. My understanding,
Yeah. Yeah.
what I'm seeing.
Yeah, there's heaps
Especially,
like mass immigration at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. You see more Asians, I think, coming into Australia,
Yeah.
people from India, from all parts of the world. I think, like I said, I was in Australia back in 1990, and I really enjoyed my time. I was there for over a month.
Yeah.
I went from Canberra, Sydney, Melbourne, stayed with families, playing tennis. Also went to New Zealand. First, I started from LA to Auckland, New Zealand, then Australia, and then we finished in Fiji, which was beautiful
Yeah.
too.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's a good month.
I was 19 years old. That was a heck of a yeah, 19 year playing tennis. It was a tennis tour. We were in a
Yeah.
tennis tour playing tennis tournaments around the area there, and I had a chance to play where they have the Australian Open in Melbourne.
Yeah.
They just finished a new facility where they had there, and it was absolutely gorgeous. Rod Laver Arena.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
pretty
no,
cool.
no, that is cool. I always have pleasant memories of Australia, and I want to make a trip back when I have a chance with my girls and stuff. We're doing a lot of Europe stuff, European
Yep.
trips, but eventually, it takes so long to get out there.
Yeah. It's a big flight.
Man, I'm tired out of the European. 8 hours in a plane, 10 hours is tiring.
Yep.
I was back younger day just to get I had to go 6 hours from the East Coast to the West Coast, and then
Yep.
another 13 hours from LA to Auckland.
Wow.
Qantas Air at the time. At the time, they had the fame that never had an accident. I'm not sure if that's still true or not,
Yeah,
but at the
still true.
time, still true. Never had.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's an Australian airline, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Qantas Air. I mean, and that's a famous. Do you remember Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman in The Rain Man?
Yeah.
He mentions that. He had the bizarre fact. He goes, Qantas Air, never had an accident, never had an accident.
Yeah. I think that, yeah, it's still true. I was just talking about that recently.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's all good. Hey, did you guys watch the Super Bowl?
No,
No,
Patriots and who was it?
Patriots
Seahawks.
and the Seahawks. Seahawks
Yeah.
crushed the Pats, right? They
Yeah.
crushed them. The Seahawks got payback for 10 years ago. They lost to the Patriots in a heartbreaker where they should never have lost that game. Probably the worst call in Super Bowl history, where you have a great running back, right?
Yeah.
And you just pound the ball at the goal line to score. Instead, they got cute and fancy, trying to throw it in, and they got picked off and they lost the game by 4 points. They should have won the game. They lost the game. This time, they didn't really. The defense that time they had the Legion of Boom. This
Yeah.
one was the death. What was it called? It was like Darth Vader, and they crushed these guys. They
Yeah.
crushed them. I think they had 8 sacks, Super Bowl record, 3 or 4 picks or turnovers in there. They crushed them. So good payback. But the big controversy though was during the halftime show.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I've seen that in the news.
with Bad Bunny. You ever heard of Bad
Yeah.
Bunny?
I haven't
Benito
until then.
Ocasio? Huh?
I hadn't heard of him until I seen it in the news.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
he's pretty big, obviously in Puerto Rico, in Miami, but
Yeah.
he's huge in Latin America.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a big guy. He's controversial. Some it's not my kind of music.
Yeah.
I'm not into rap, especially reggaeton. That's just never been my thing. But if you like it, you might like his music. If you like rap music, you might like it. You might
Yeah.
like listen to it, even if you don't understand it. It's very catchy, right, and all
Yeah.
that. But Trump doesn't like him because he's against ICE. Even though people don't understand, I'm gonna give a little history of America here.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico is part of the United States. And there's some people don't understand that.
Yeah.
Even the Americans, because they hear people speak different languages, they think, oh, this must be a foreigner. No, he's American. He's a U.S. citizen. Puerto Ricans have
Yeah.
been U.S. citizens since I think 1917, right?
Yeah.
And after the Spanish-American War, after the U.S. beat Spain, Puerto Rico became part of the United States. It was a
Yeah.
Spanish colony for like 350 years or something. But that's why they speak
Uh-huh.
Spanish. They speak Spanish there. But a lot of people don't understand. Benito is an American U.S. citizen, and a lot of people don't like. And
Yeah.
he's political. He's talking about ICE, and he made that famous speech at the Grammys. I don't know if you saw it about ICE out, right?
Yeah.
And he talks about all the things like that. So Trump can't stand the guy. He hates the
Yeah.
guy. He's always tweeting about it, or now he has his Truth Social, and he goes out there and he says everything he wants. He doesn't like it. So that was a big thing. It was the halftime. You guys watch yourself. It's pretty much an homage to the history of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
That's what his shows was. It was an homage to Puerto Rico. And he starts from the beginning. He has his songs here, but he brings in some decent talent with him. He brings in Lady Gaga. They're singing and dancing. She sings in English, so he had some English there. And then you have Ricky Martin. You remember Ricky Martin?
Yeah.
La Vida Loca. He was a huge
Yeah.
name back in the late 90s for the World
Yeah.
Cup in 98. That song was like one of the top songs in there. And he sings also about, and but his song is more about, some people think Puerto Rican independence is in Spanish. You have to listen to it. And a lot of people say, don't be another Hawaii.
Yeah.
Don't lose your flag. Don't lose your independence, right? And
Yeah.
that's he's singing in Spanish, Ricky Martin is. And because people in Hawaii I don't think are happy what's happened there. They
Yeah.
pretty much with mass tourism, it's pretty much ended their, I think, a lot of their way of life that
Yeah.
Hawaii had, right? What
Yeah.
you see there. And he's putting that same out there. Be careful, Puerto Rico. This could same what happened in Hawaii could happen to you.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he says. There's a lot of things there to digest and stuff, and I think if you listen to watch the show, I think you'll get some good stuff. Me again, it's not my music, but I did enjoy some other aspects of the show. And at the end,
Yeah.
they have the unification, they have the flag, and all the different flags. It says, God bless America, and but he then starts not listening to just the United States, but all the countries in Latin America and from South America, Central America, North America, the Caribbean, with all the flags marching all together.
Yeah.
Unity. I think that was a nice ending.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice ending. Again, I don't like his politics because I'm conservative. Obviously, I believe in enforcing immigration laws.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I believe in that. Some people want to create sanctuary cities in America. I do not agree with that. You
Yeah.
can't protect criminals. You got to deport them, send them back. And if you're here illegally, I'm sorry, we're a country of rules and laws. If you don't respect the rule of law, if you don't respect the rule of law to enter it, how are you going to live in this country?
Yeah.
Those are things there. So a lot of things to be taken about. I know you and I like to watch Netflix a lot. You watch any shows recently that you recommend to the public?
Uh, I watched there's a Japanese mafia one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the name. It was like a Yakuza
Hmm.
one, and they sort of like follows them just until the end, like into the 2000s, I guess, when they ended, like the government pretty much shut it down. Um, and yeah, it was a great movie. I'm trying to think what it was called.
I know we were talking about earlier about and I saw this about a year ago, and I don't know if I mentioned it or not before. You know how the Incredible Mr. Ripley, the movie with Matt
Yeah.
Damon,
Yep.
they have it now a series called Ripley, and it's
Yeah.
really good, filmed in Europe.
Yep.
Very good, well done. Of course, we know how it ends. This guy's another serial killer. He becomes another killer himself,
Yep.
and it killed a lot of his friends and stuff. I recommend it.
Yep.
Really good. It's only one season. Ripley, I think it's worth watching. Watch the new Scarface. That it's not new.
Yep.
They have master digitalized the old one. Looks really sharp, really good. Years before it wasn't looking as good.
Yep.
Say so. I think it's Al Pacino's one of his great roles he ever did, playing
Yeah.
a Cuban refugee, Manuelito, came in the 80s, who wanted then power and saw cocaine trafficking as a way to climb quickly. And remember the ending there when he gets blasted and he
Yeah.
falls into the pool. The world is yours, or is it?
Yep.
Crime doesn't pay, does it?
No.
Uh, Oliver Stone wrote that. He wrote the screenplay for that.
Yep.
And he himself talked about that he himself was going over his own cocaine addiction. Because originally Scarface was a remake of based on Al Capone, right?
Yep.
From the Chicago Mafia back in the 20s and 30s, right? But they decided to give it an 80s twist. And they
Yeah.
brought in this whole thing here, which I think was classic there. So yeah, watch that there. Match Point. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Match Point. Woody Allen directed it with Scarlett Johansson.
No.
Good
Good
movie.
movie.
Go
I'll
watch
have
it
to
on
check it
Scarface.
out.
I mean, on Netflix. Match Point. 2006 movie. I'm not a
Yep.
big fan of Woody Allen, but I like this movie and because it has a tennis aspect to it. This is a
Yep.
tennis pro. Get a little background here in London. He's Irish in London, but he came up from modest means. He ends up meeting influential families. He ends up marrying one of the daughters right there, but then he has an affair with an American actress, which is Johansson, and things get out. It's almost like a Hitchcock type what he
Yep.
does to protect. I'm not going to ruin the movie. What he has to do to protect his lifestyle.
Yep. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
pretty good movie. You'll enjoy that one there.
I'll check
And if
it
you want
out.
sports documentaries, I don't know if you like basketball, Thomas.
Yeah, a bit of everything.
Yeah, basketball is good. I remember watching some good basketball games. You had some good leagues out there. You have quite a few Americans playing in the Aussie leagues out there when I went out there.
Yep.
Still the case?
Yeah, I think so. I think more Aussies are going over there as well. It seems to be
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All the big men do well.
Yep.
Uh, it's Michael Jordan's it's called documentary. It's about 3 seasons, maybe four, maybe. I don't know. It's called The Last Dance.
Yep.
It talks about you've seen it?
I've seen some of it. I haven't finished it.
Yeah, check it out. The whole thing's
Yep.
awesome. The Chicago
Yep.
Bulls, the end of the dynasty, the journey for Michael Jordan and his team, and how they could have kept on winning, but
Yep.
the team franchise said, you know what, enough's enough. Phil
Yeah.
Jackson went, Michael Jordan went, and the whole team broke apart. And then Phil Jackson went to the Lakers and won some titles there with Kobe and Shaq.
That's crazy. Yeah.
What could have happened? What could have continued? They could have won like a 10. But no, I recommend that. If you like basketball, that's I think one of the best ones I've ever seen. The Last Dance. Michael Jordan. And remember, he took that break in between, played professional baseball too, and his father
Yeah.
was killed. He was
That was.
devastated. He was good. He was good, but he wasn't that great.
Yep.
Not like in basketball. And
Yeah.
baseball takes years to get good at. It's a tough sport. People don't take it. I know, but it's tough. Michael Jordan. Interesting life story. But I definitely recommend it.
It's
Definitely recommend
definitely,
it.
yeah, definitely got a great story.
Yeah, yeah, lot of good documentaries out there on Netflix. If you like sports, a lot of good documentaries there from all different, from hockey, basketball, tennis, football, you name it, you watch it there. And of course, when it comes to psycho killers, there's
Yeah,
a lot in Netflix, a lot to watch.
definitely. Yeah, that's. I'll have to check out that match and Mr. Ripley for sure.
Yeah, Ripley's good. That's
Yeah.
really good. That's really really filmed in Europe. They did a
Yeah.
really good job there too. So I mean, those are some of the things we're going on there. Like I said, I talk about that. Um, Big interesting story here. One more thing here with Maduro. You saw what happened with Nicolas Maduro,
Yeah, that was pretty
dictator from
wild.
Venezuela.
Yeah.
What an operation to
Yeah.
go in there after he says come in Spanish. Cobarde. He's calling the president a coward. Trump. Cobarde, coward. Come and get me if you can. And guess what happened? A few days later, special forces went down there without losing one member snatch him up and his wife, and now he's in a federal detention center in New York City,
Yeah.
waiting trial. He's
That's
another Noriega. The
yeah.
same thing that happened to Manuel Noriega in 1989 with Just Cause. Same thing's happening to him, his wife. I think that's good for Venezuela. I think Venezuela's going to go in a good place to get rid of the dictator. Anytime you get a tyrant, a dictator, a narco terrorist dictator like himself out,
Yeah.
no more Venezuelan oil is going to Cuba.
Yeah.
Cuba is now being strangled like this. Power outages has crippled the island. They have the Communist Party runs that. It's been doing it since Fidel Castro back in the late 50s, right? Diaz Canal, and Cuba's going to fall next.
Yeah.
So hopefully the Constitution gets reinstated, Cuba's liberated, and they get democracy in both places. Venezuela deserves it. I remember I went to Venezuela in 98 before Chavez took over, became president. And what a beautiful country, right?
Yeah.
Very, very prestigious. OPEC nation doing really well, right? And it's sad to see great countries, same with Cuba, what they were before and what socialism, communism does. And I hate to say it, New York City is going to suffer the same fate with this guy, Mamdani, and what he's
Yeah.
doing to New York City. This kind of thing, free for me, high taxes. When people use high taxes, they want to strip the wealth from people, redistribution, and that doesn't work. It
No.
doesn't work. And that's what unfortunately we're seeing. So I think those are big stories going around between Venezuela and Cuba. And I'm definitely watching what's going on in Cuba because my family lost everything because of the
Yeah.
communists in Cuba. And I would love to be able to see and maybe visit one day their homeland. My grandmother, before she passed away, she said, the worst feeling is to have lost your homeland, tu patria, in that way. And
Yeah.
it was very difficult for her to live that way. So, no, you would wish that on no one. And that's why I'm very passionate for my family generations. We protect our country because nothing's worse than the wrong government, your own people destroying your own country.
Yeah.
That,
Definitely.
that's that's awful. That's awful, Thomas.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. We've covered a lot of good stuff this show.
Yeah, I mean, how long are we going for?
Um, Close to an hour.
Okay,
Just,
that sounds good.
just under.
So I mean, yeah, yeah. So I've been busy. I mean, I've been doing a lot of shows. I enjoy doing the stuff with you guys. And shout out to Hollywood Wade and all the other
Yeah.
guys that I've done tons of show with. A lot of my articles on Medium are getting it more popular. So if you
Yeah.
like Medium, have you written on Medium, Thomas, yet or no?
No, not yet.
No, you
I
should. You
need
should.
to.
You can publish for free. You can write all your short stories you want. I know you did publish one. I haven't a chance to read it. What's the name
Yeah.
of the book? Shout out to you that you put
Yeah.
on Amazon.
Paul Lanter,
Uh,
Dangerous
uh,
Mind.
What's that?
Paul Lanter, A Dangerous Mind.
Okay, got you. He's a serial killer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's excellent. How many have you published now? That your first and only, or
That's my first, and I got a couple more I need to put out.
good?
I want to.
How
Yeah.
how's it selling?
Yeah. I've got a couple, I think, but yeah,
Yeah.
not a lot.
Not a lot. No, it's tough. It's a whole part there. And then if you want people to read it, I just put it for free for KU
Yeah.
subscribers. And then people really read a lot. That's why a lot of my stuff is read a lot through. So for my stuff, if you go Ignacio Esteban, you go on Amazon, if you're a KU Kindle Unlimited subscriber, all my books are free, close to 80 of them. Enjoy them, read them. And now I put most of them now. They offered me this through AI. I did it like this, Thomas. You might think about doing this. They do free audiobooks for you.
Wow.
They did all my books on audio. I had professional voice actors before, but only had two or three. I did almost all my books now are available on Audible. So enjoy them. AI did them all. They did. I've never seen it. And within a minute, each book is getting done.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. So that's
Yeah.
why my numbers are really soaring. Because a lot of people are listening to them now, and
Yeah.
there's a lot to listen. So if you put yours out there too, they do it for free for you. You
Yeah.
might get some more numbers that way too. Also, something to think about. And those writers thinking about it, start somewhere where you get in a pattern. Look at Medium. You look at mine's Ignacio Esteban under medium.com. I've written almost like 200 articles, and it's from sports politics. You've seen my group I have in
Yeah.
Facebook. You follow me on Facebook too, and you can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm on all over Medium, of course, please. That's good. But there's a lot of good writers out there. I mean,
Yeah.
there's 100 million users. Just think about that. 100, I think it's the biggest platform for writers out there. Take advantage of it, use it, and you start putting your articles out there, publish, and then you'll be published. And then all of a sudden it gets picked up. And then what happened with me, areas and producers started picking up my articles and they're putting it there. So that keeps on
Yeah.
expanding. A lady from India likes my stuff. So she's putting her stuff on her own little news website that she has. So
Yeah.
it just keeps on growing and growing and growing. And I love talking about all this stuff. And I love doing the shows too. We've done quite a few. So folks, if you like this, go check all Thomas shows we've done. I think what 8 or 10 shows at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you did a lot of cool shorts also on me reading stuff too.
Yeah.
And
So I
chapter
have to do some
book.
more of those.
You put some cool music to it. So
Yeah.
they have done well. So I
Yeah.
mean, and there's so much things you can do and get creative with it and have fun with this. Not everybody's gonna be a big name star, but it's still fun to do.
Yeah.
And people can get good enjoyment out of it. And I think that's the cool thing. And you meet people from all over the world. I think I've been doing shows with you now 4 years.
Yeah. It's been a
2000, yeah,
while.
4 years doing shows, and you look at how we look then and now, and
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
yeah, man.
Time's gone so fast.
Time flies, man. Time flies, no doubt. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoy this show, Thomas. So
Thanks.
uh you gotta enjoy the links there, the topics. Psycho killers, folks. If you like serial killers, Thomas and I have done quite a few shows, Psycho Killers. We've done a lot of shorts on it. It's also on Audible. Check it out, Psycho Killers. Or I've written about it on Medium too. So it's just to me unbelievable how humans can go from normality to savagery like that.
Yeah. Unreal. Well, thanks again for coming on, and yeah,
Yeah, Thomas.
we'll
I look
keep
forward to the
doing them.
show. Yeah, man. I'll promote the show like I always do. These shows do well, so I'll keep
Yeah,
them pushing them around everywhere, and I think people enjoy our conversations.
definitely. Thank you, bro.
All right, Tom. We'll talk later. Ciao.
See you, mate.
Thomas Berryman TV, MC Wicks. You are now rocking with the greatest. Worldwide universal, we kick games, drop gems. Knowledge expand the brain. We don't speak no lie, this all factual. Travel through sound waves, international. My aura is shining, but that's natural. From the cosmos, supernatural, extraterrestrial with the ill flow. Too high, too elevated. Audio American culture is beautiful, we gon' celebrate it. Documented this history in the making, connecting with the rest of the planet through conversation. Building from the ground up, this the foundation. Through the power of thought manifestation. Gift the gab, champion rap, greatness. Timeless like hieroglyphs. Who would've ever pictured this? Blow.